friend today.
We
We got
do.
Dr. V, Chris
Hola.
Vogel, Mr. Harvard doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you liked my description, which was Harvard trained business coach. So
Yes, it was good. I
it was
mean,
not bad.
yeah,
for an
except I
amateur.
don't think you had Harvard trained in the title. I think
I
that's what
did.
I recommended. So like, it's like one
No,
of the
no,
best
no. That's what I
names in the
did.
world. Why wouldn't
I
you
did.
stick it in there?
I did it originally, Harvard trained business coach. You were the one who told me when you were looking at it, saying, "Wow, yours is really good." I wouldn't
Yeah.
You went to
change it.
Harvard.
Yeah,
Harvard.
Go
it's
Um,
pretty
figure.
good. All right, so today's topic is something that you guys have been working on,
Yes, it
for a
is.
while now, which was how communication through short video for businesses, for sales and marketing, how communications through like really short videos, and I don't mean like 3 seconds, but under 2 minutes for sure, and probably a lot shorter than that even, and the
Even.
kind of impact that it has on driving, I guess, leads in the beginning, right, and driving interest.
Exactly. And
Why
so,
why does that work?
well, I'll kind of get the party started. So, the reason it works is because of our short little attention spans, and the fact that it's easier for us to grasp, video in small volume as opposed to large pieces of video. And so now with YouTube Shorts and Instagram and TikTok, who everybody thought was for kids who just like to shuffle dance and sing, and Instagram and Facebook, so everybody's got a short video piece to their platform. So it works just because we're much easy. It's much easier for us to just grasp on the smaller piece of content
Right.
and watch it all the way through quickly.
What do you think, Dr. V?
we like snackable, bite-sized pieces of content.
Right. I also would I would suggest this when it comes to any sort of invitation on our part or acceptance on a stranger's part, because they're strangers to us and we're strangers to them if you're in marketing, right? Usually. People will watch short copy, they'll read short copy and they'll watch short content because nobody wants to read long copy or dig into a long video unless they already trust the source.
Correct.
And so if you don't have that trust yet, you're not going to get away with like a long version of something.
That's a great point too, because it's a great way to get that trust. Somebody will invest 15 seconds with you or 30 seconds with you to watch a small piece of content. The other thing too is we're all well rewarded on each platform for producing a piece of content daily, or a couple pieces of content a day, and we're rewarded by the number of minutes people view. So if somebody views our content completely through, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, it's a great situation for us.
Yeah, the algorithm gives you a little
Boost.
a lot of love, and it'll show your videos to people far beyond your followers. That's what's really interesting. And when you start getting, especially when you start getting likes, comments, and shares, people
Right.
share your short form videos. That's one way that you can potentially go viral. But virality, as we were saying before we started the broadcast, is not that important, because I know people who get maybe 100 views for their short form videos, but they get clients out of them.
Right.
Because as you said, Dean, it's the know, like, and trust factor, which blossoms into the know, love, and trust factor. And people are willing to invest maybe 15 seconds or even up to maybe 3 minutes in the case of TikTok, the max currently. And they don't feel cheated as long as you give them a little bit of entertainment and some information. So it either has, the value can be infotainment, or it can be strictly information, or the value could be just pure entertainment, people acting silly, as you said earlier, with the dances and expressions and other things. But the challenge, the greatest challenge of all, is grabbing somebody's attention
Yes.
in those first 1 to 3 seconds.
Yeah, it goes a long way. We talked about a similar topic yesterday when we were doing inform, inspire, and then transform. Was that if you think of communication as a line, right, you need to go all the way to 90%. I worked with someone this morning. He didn't ask me to work for him, but he sent me a pitch on LinkedIn and it was badly worded. And I wrote back and fixed it for him. And don't pitch me on LinkedIn just thinking you're going to get free copywriting. I was in a weird mood this morning and other stuff was going on. But the point is, one of the things I said to him is, you need to separate this, and this is a great line, but you've sort of buried it. and people are just going to not read it or go over it. I said, the point of this, especially your very first line in that kind of pitch or initial message or email or first few words of a video, is that you have to do 90% of the comprehension for the reader. The reader is only responsible for the last 10%. It's not 50-50. And so you need to think about the context that they're in. And like, are they scrolling through? Are they on a desktop? Are they in a car? Are they waiting for coffee, right? What context are they in? And then how can you go 90% of the way to doing all of their comprehension for them of whatever your idea is you're trying to communicate, or whatever your marketing or sales message is, so that they only have to do the last 10%, which is pretty much all you're going to get. You're going to get the last 10% of their attention and a few seconds of their attention. And then after that, if you haven't sort of secured it in, you're done.
No, that's very true. And it's funny. I was thinking as we're going along, the thing that really got us interested in this is a friend of mine asked us if we could produce a short commercial for him. And and we started at 60 seconds, and we kept saying, how much smaller can we go and still get the message out? And we got down to 30 seconds, and we got almost down to 15 seconds. Yeah, it was kind of tough to get down to 15 seconds.
It's hard to share the entire concept of their platform or their particular piece of software in 15 seconds. So it required at least 30 seconds.
I think we could have gotten the message across in maybe 20, 25 seconds.
Could be. Yeah.
But 30 did it nicely.
One of my most popular videos in terms of Instagram, not so much on TikTok, got about 11,000 views or so, but it was 25 seconds, which violates many of the principles that we teach in our Strategic Video Masters group. So because shorter generally is better.
Right. And the sweet spot seems to be like, what, 15 seconds?
Sometimes 5.
Yeah, sometimes.
One of my most recent ones that just took off was 5 seconds long. So you try to figure out how you get a message across in 5 seconds. But we use there's multiple things you need to look at. Like, for example, the one that was 5 seconds recently had a popular audio underneath. It had some of my favorite stickers like Minions and a few others.
Right. Yes.
But it had a lot of text. And I revealed line after line of text over those 5 seconds. I think it had 5 lines of text in 5 seconds. And so people did come back to watch it again because they can't read that fast. So I grabbed them with the images and the ocean coming in, because I live near the beach. And there was a helicopter that came across too. I didn't even realize that until after I'd produced the video, that there was one of these attack helicopters coming across on the horizon. So there was a lot of motion. There were things that really did grab attention. And I was shocked actually that 5 seconds could convey a message.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about that for a second, because and really back to the theme, right, is how does video say more with less? With less, I mean fewer words. First, because you just don't have enough time to speak fewer words, right? But also, there's so much more going on at the same time, right? There's the music underneath. Music has such an impact on how people perceive video. You can take, at one point, I can tell you this, some friends of mine, this was years ago, we were playing one of those like team-based gory shooter games.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no music underneath. We'd all like turned off the music so we could hear on our comms and like, trying to go around corners and stuff. And then as a joke, because I had one of those like Google smart speakers next to me, I told Google to play the theme to, what is it? The Jack Benny show.
Okay.
The Benny Hill show.
Oh, the Benny Hill show, yeah.
So like it looks super serious on screen, but underneath you hear it looks like it's goofy Keystone Cops kind of stuff, and it completely changes the the feeling of the game, which was really tense and dark, and then it's like ridiculous and like a spoof, right?
Yes.
So music has such a big impact on it, and then of course the visuals, and then any graphics you have on screen over top of the actual video, and then any text you have on top that's not spoken.
That's very true.
And also there are titles too that you could put on videos that will appear or disappear, and you always are given the option of selecting the cover, if you will, for any video.
Right.
I'm gonna have that song in my head all day now. That was a bad choice.
Probably. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna find it and play it during this project.
Earworm.
Copyright.
I think you'll break a copyright, if you do it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
We'll get flagged on YouTube or something.
Speaking of which,
go ahead.
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say we kind of noticed a lot of that stuff when we were doing this commercial. One of the things that it was about webinars, and we were talking about the attention span of the average human being close to that of a goldfish. So we had a little goldfish floating around the bowl and all this. It was just fun to create. But yeah, graphics say a lot about the message for sure.
Yeah,
We
webinars are
made
sort
that
of the.
goldfish. Sorry, we made that goldfish a star.
Yeah, we certainly did.
I hope he appreciates his newfound fame. Yeah, I can tell you that with webinars, when I'm writing, like the scripted ones, where I don't ever like really present on webinars, but I write what other people say. Like I write for their audience.
Right.
And the first thing I tell them is, we're going to write this script and you'll say it word for word because it'll sound completely natural. It's going to look terrible when you read it. There's periods where you don't expect, and there's commas where you wouldn't want them, but that's for you to take a breath, because not once in your life have you ever written anything and had to worry about whether the reader is going to be able to breathe. Because
Yes.
if you're reading silently, you don't have to worry about anyone's breathing, right? But I write for speakers; they all breathe. They insist on it every few seconds.
Insist on breathing.
I've
Typical.
never met a speaker who is willing to put off breathing for the full half hour while they do my script. It just doesn't happen.
Some people say reading is fundamental. I say it's oxygen.
Yeah.
Oxygen. Very important.
What I tell them is, the script is not written for people looking at the screen. The script is written for listeners.
Yeah.
Because most people on anything longer than a minute or two, they're going to go check their mail. They're going to browse Facebook. They're going to play you as background radio. And so we write for listeners, partly because that's how audiences deal with long live content, is their attention goes away and they just sort of give you some of their attention. But secondly, because at least in the B2B ones that I do, I've never seen any B2B webinar where they're willing to put in enough visual information. Like enough is happening on screen and changing on screen, and there are enough slides, and every slide has animations or whatever. I've never seen anyone produce something for a B2B webinar that's so visually rich that they could keep someone's visual attention for half an hour. I mean, it's a lot. That's a level of work that would just be enormous and almost never worth the money and time. If you're going to just have something happening every 2 or 3 seconds for an entire 30 minutes, I mean, that's a TV show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we write for listeners and just accept the context that they're in.
Yeah, I've seen it work, but in a very small group that I'm a part of, and it is B2B because it's B2B coaching.
Yeah.
But they work really hard at producing these things, and they only do one a month. So it's Jason and Caroline Zook. So Caroline is a graphic artist. It helps a lot.
Oh,
they
They
love their gifts and all kinds of stuff, and they just have total interaction, like little shout outs and things where their icons come up and say, hey, it's time for you to type your keyboard. But that's a lot of work. And I mean, that's far beyond what the average business is willing to produce.
Not only that, but if it requires a lot of rehearsal to get the timing down as well. Mm-hmm. Because if you're going to keep advancing like that and having something happening every 2 or 3 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever, then your voiceover has to keep up with it. Otherwise, it becomes, there's a discontinuity there that turns off audiences.
Well, what happens is they do these videos live with participants, and it really elevates the energy.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
But then in the recording, you still feel a very similar energy to it.
Yeah.
Slightly lower because you're not participating.
Right.
You don't have the Benny Hill thing motivating you to kill people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, plus live events, everyone in a live event, right? Everyone in the audience, and certainly everyone performing, everyone understands that something could go wrong. There's like a hint of disaster or potential disaster in every live event. It's one of the things that adds to the energy of it.
We had one recently.
Yeah?
Yeah, Friday. So I put in something called CRISP, according to Dr. Kayvon Kay, who's part of our little triad. Right. We have a program we do every Friday. And he said, well, I asked him what his audio was like, because I was outside and I had ambulances and fire trucks and little kids running around, all kinds of stuff. And he said, well, you use this CRISP app, KRISP.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's cool. So he guided me through installing it. And when I pushed one of the buttons, the entire live stream blew apart. I disappeared. The two of them were still in there. And then I refreshed to get myself back in and then brought all 3 in. So it was a disaster, but it was fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I tell every client, I say, we accept from the beginning, something will go wrong during the live event. We're not, the best you can ever hope for is that the audience can't notice it. but
Yeah.
something will go wrong. Something always goes wrong. It's one of the reasons we do live events is because of the risk.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like going to a NASCAR race, because some of the people are going there just for the car crash.
Yeah. Some people watch hockey just for the fights.
Exactly.
You don't know if there's going to be a fight, or when there's going to be a fight, or who's going to fight, or how long the fight's going to be. Somebody's getting punched in the face if it's a hockey game.
In case of the
Probably.
Philadelphia Flyers,
Yeah.
I think it was, I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sorry, Flyers fans.
That happened.
Flyers.
But yeah, Flyers. Well, they got what's that crazy looking mascot they now have?
Oh,
Orange fuzzy thing. It looks like Elmo gone bad. I wish I could remember what that
cool.
name of that character was. Anyway, so what other things did you want to talk about with respect to short form video?
So how hard is it to make? Because a lot of people who are watching this are all on the spectrum, right? For they're new to marketing, they're new to content creation. Some of them are doing it for years, and some of them like get paid by other people to do it, like we do. And like, if you're just starting out, like what would you need equipment wise? Just like the base, like your phone, I guess, and something else.
Yeah.
What, if
Phone.
any, software would
That's
you
it.
need? And what are the one or two things that they should keep in mind to get going?
I'll let John talk about the mobile studio in your hand.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, their cell phone is really it. Everything is here. Mobile video studio,
Right.
and each one has its own platform for shorts. So YouTube has its own platform for shorts within itself. So does Instagram. So does Facebook. So does TikTok.
And do
So
you
you can
recommend people use the built-in microphone, or do they need at least an external microphone?
They can use the built-in microphone.
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
Depends on the degree of sophistication of your phone. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah,
I wouldn't
right.
try with an iPhone 5.
Probably not. And I mean, typically the microphones and connection on new phones is great on just about all of the different ones.
Right.
So
I would
iPhone
recommend,
especially.
if you're going to be using a built-in mic on a phone or a built-in mic on a camera or whatever,
Mhm.
to sit down, be still, close your eyes, and listen to your room. Because a lot of the stuff our brain filters out all the time. It filters out ceiling fans. It filters out space heaters. It filters out sirens and garbage trucks and dogs barking outside and all kinds of
All
stuff
kinds of stuff.
that the microphone will treat as perfectly valid input and give everything equal priority
Mhm.
according to its force. But do close your eyes and listen to your room, and you will almost always hear something that you forgot to turn off. Even if you're just you're in front of a laptop and the laptop fan is going.
Yeah, that's what I hear right now. Now I'm focused on the fan, but fortunately you can't hear my fan because the microphone is far enough away. However, John and I sometimes have conferences. He'll prop up his phone next to his laptop, and the sound is horrific.
Yes, because one of my laptops is very noisy, and all you can hear is the fan because it's a thin gaming laptop.
All right, and then what software? Just use what's already
Just use what's already there.
or YouTube or the platform you're going to post to.
Yep. So it's all built right into the platform
Use their app.
you're
Makes sense.
going to use.
Mm-hmm. That's the easy. I mean, that you're rewarded the most for using the native app.
Yeah.
Yes.
In terms of the algorithm. Now, that's not to say that you can't create wonderful videos and then upload them.
Yep.
And then when you upload them, you can add the music and maybe a sticker or text or captions. Captions still one of my favorites because a huge percentage of videos, I mean, it's probably over 76% or so, are watched in silent mode. They're not going to hear your music. They're not going to hear your voice. And in those situations, like they're just ignoring their boss during a meeting, but they're watching your video.
Oh, I have a story about captions. So I used to about 2 years ago, I made a show, like a 10-part series about the cable industry called Talk About Cable. It was only on LinkedIn, and I would upload the videos, and I would pay Rev.com, REV.com, absolutely wonderful company, right? What Rev does is when you're finished editing the video, because they charge you based on the number of minutes of the file you send them. So if it was 10 minutes long, but you're really only going to use 5 of those, then do that first, so it's down to 5, and then send it to Rev, and they charge you like $5 or $5.50 or whatever it is. It's like $1 something a minute.
$1 a minute. Yep.
So anyway, a former coworker had been following the videos on LinkedIn, and I happened to talk to him when I was maybe 7 or 8 videos in out of the 10-part series. And he says, "Boy, it sure is good that you thought to put captions in your videos, because I see them on LinkedIn, and I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, but we can't hear you." Your microphone must be off. He never knew you needed to hover over the video and click the little speaker button so the sound would come on.
Oh, wow.
He
That's
thought
funny.
that for 7 videos in, I had forgotten to turn on a microphone.
Wow.
So
I don't even know what to say about that.
because some audience
And your content was so engaging, he watched it without sound.
Yeah. So
But, you
here
know,
I was just direct to camera and I was talking, and he thought that I had 7 times in a row forgotten to record any audio.
I will say, using captions like on Zoom has become much more prevalent. I can't tell you the number of times lately somebody has asked me to turn on the Zoom captions so they can see what's being said. So I think anytime that you can use captions in your short videos or anywhere, you really should be doing it or thinking about it at least.
I mean, YouTube will create them for free,
right?
But they're machine generated, and they're sort of okay, right? They're like 90%.
Yeah, they're not good at all.
You can go back and edit, but that's just time consuming.
It's very time consuming. Yeah, I will say that I can if you use any kind of video editor program, then Rev is great because they'll just give you a file and you just drop it right in on top of your video, and it's perfectly timed up to everything that's being said on camera at that moment. And if there's a pause and no sound or no one speaking, then there won't be anything, in the Rev file for that section. Then it's just great. It's the easiest process I've ever found for getting captions into a video. And a lot of your audience either is watching but can't listen to you because of the environment that they're in. It's too loud or it's too quiet and they don't want anyone to know they listen to you. Or, they just can't hear. And so captions are great for that.
Yeah,
also,
hearing impaired.
Very good for the algorithm too, because it's text and therefore easily searchable.
Very true.
Yeah, I can remember Rev because my grandfather was a minister, so I'm just gonna locked into my brain.
And I remember Rev because I wasn't aware of it at the time, but Rev is like was one of the largest employers of college students.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should mention that Rev is it's a human.
It's a human.
They use a machine, I'm sure, right? They're using software to take a first stab if you don't give them a script, but they use a machine to do a first stab. But then a human actually goes through and corrects it all. So it's not just more. It's not like Otter or Descript or YouTube captions. Like a person actually writes it.
Yes.
And so that's why it costs $1.25 or $1.50 per minute of video, and not 8 cents. But the quality is excellent. Really,
quality is excellent. Absolutely. And I have noticed, over the years, different things doing a better job at doing captions than others.
Right.
I have been impressed with Otter. You mentioned that. That's
I like Otter. I use that actually.
Yep. Zoom uses Otter as their caption engine. I have noticed over the years that Android seems to be better at iPhone or better than iPhone.
Oh, wait. I will point something out. In the I think it was 9 months ago. September, maybe 6 months ago. Whenever the last version, big upgrade for iOS came out.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not know this, but it used to be with your iPhone, if you were dictating into anything, notes or literally anything, and there was like a 30 or 60 second cutoff. There's no cutoff anymore. You can talk and talk and talk and talk as long as you want, and it will keep going and keep transcribing what you say into text. So they got rid of there's something about how they're able to process the language to do the NLP, the natural language processing, on board, on the machine itself. It's also the same time that they came out with the option that you can use Siri for some kinds of commands, even if you're not connected to the internet, because they're doing a lot of that, processing on board on a chip on the phone itself. And so, and that, by the way, is now true across their ecosystem. So iPads, Macs, whatever. Right. You can talk as long as you want.
Oh, cool. The thing that I always found amazing.
That's so good
for me. Me too. The thing that I found, well, especially for me, because I have tremors, I rarely type. So I use that a lot. But the thing I love about the iPhone, well, it's kind of a love-hate thing, actually. But as I transcribe it, I notice it's either right the first time, or it'll go back last minute and correct it.
Yeah, it will.
Or it'll go back last minute and make it all wrong.
Yeah. My biggest challenge is that I use both the built-in iOS, the built-in Apple transcription, but also Otter. And in Apple, you have to say the punctuation, like period.
Yes.
You have to say, and so John, comma,
Period,
we
comma.
should do blah, 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 period. And on Otter, you're not supposed to do that. And so I always forget, man, always forget. And so in my Otter transcriptions, there's all these like the word period, the word
Period,
comma,
comma.
right? It's just, oh my God, stop.
Well,
Oops.
otters are very playful, so
There
can
you go.
just
Yeah.
understand
Otter does all the punctuation itself, right?
Yeah.
They
And
like
so
to
it
goof
doesn't
with
want
you
you to say
and
anything.
correct.
All right.
That's
And then
funny.
I guess speaking of tools, there's one more that's kind of new. A friend of mine, Andrew Saunders, is up in the Northeast. He's in investment banking and a little bit of venture capitalism. He is an investor in a new firm that we're just trying out called Snackable.ai. And if you go to Snackable.ai, don't pay attention to their headline because their copywriting needs some work.
Awful.
If you work for Snackable, I've sent you like a suggestion, just use it. It's free of charge.
A lot of
But
work.
here's what Snackable does. You can upload like hours and hours and hours and hours worth of video or audio or text, whatever. And an AI engine will comb through it and pull out interesting little bits, interesting little clips and excerpts of, 15, 30 seconds or so, and like package it up for you into a little audio or video file. And you can use that for social media. So instead of having a human sort of scrubbing through or listening or whatever, doing all that work, you can offload that kind of processing to Snackable.ai. And they have a free tier. So I think, go ahead and
They do.
trial.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember because I know they have a free trial, but I didn't know if they had a free tier.
It's a free tier. No, wait a minute. I think actually it expires after.
It's a free trial.
Either way, it's a free trial. Try it out.
Try it out.
Because if you're producing a lot of like audio or video, you have a podcast or you're doing stuff like this, these sort of video things, then it's really handy to have a machine sort of go through. Now, here's the thing. I can't vouch for the fact that it's going to work or not because we just signed up. And so I have not yet tested it. But the concept is very interesting. It's really just transcription in reverse, right? And so I have a notion that it's going to, even if it's only 80% useful, and it gives you 2 or 3 or 4 little excerpts of an hour's worth of video, then you just don't use one of them and use the other 3. It'd be fine. It still saves a lot of work.
I want to see if there's anything interesting from this broadcast.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, really, right?
And just see what it comes out.
It's going to give up and say, guys, every moment in here is amazing. Like I can't isolate anything.
I can't pick anything out.
It's all grace. So there you go.
Exactly.
All right. I think that's about it for us today. Any final words?
Shorter is better. Shorter is better.
Shorter is better.
And the other one is, in order to develop the confidence to produce short form video, you need to adopt the attitude of playing with the platform. It's play. You won't get it right all the time. You'll fall on your face. You'll get up and try it again. And by the way, at the beginning, nobody is watching your videos. So it's okay to mess up.
That reminds me of the Les Brown quote. He's like the motivational speaker, Les Brown. He says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to get great.
That's very true. Yeah. My final message is consistency is key. And taking this as somebody who didn't have a TikTok account until recently, because I didn't think it was important or valuable in any way to an older guy like me.
Right.
I was wrong. There's a lot of people in our age group that are on TikTok and making videos. And like I said, consistency is key. 1 to 3 videos a day on each platform. And consistency is key.
And then I would wrap up with, remember, for all short form communication, you're on the hook to do 90% of the listener or reader or viewer's comprehension for them. It's not their job. It's not a 50-50. You're doing nearly all the work. And then we talked about rev.com and snackable.ai and using the tools that the various video-based platforms provide, YouTube, Vimeo, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn has an app you use on your phone. You can actually post on LinkedIn with your just your phone, right? They have their own tool. It's built into the LinkedIn app. Actually, there's no separate tool for it. But you can get started now, and then you will suck, and then you will get better.
Yes,
and then you will feel like you suck, but then if you keep going, you'll still get better.
Right.
And even if you think you suck, somebody actually might like what you produce.
Yeah, that's the thing about the internet, right? You only have to be like a millimeter deep because it's thousands of miles wide. So somebody's going to like it.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say is as bad as you suck, somebody else sucks worse. So
Yeah, well,
but it's okay because we all sucked when we first got started. So
all
there
right,
you go.
that's it for us. Thanks very much. See you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.